Welcome to Consumer Tech Support's tutorial series. Today we're going to cover some technology analogies, and we're going to cover that with regards to computer performance. One analogy is that the hard drive in your computer is somewhat analogous to the storage and cargo space in your vehicle, but it's different in that there's no speed rating on the cargo space in vehicles. There is a speed rating on various hard drives. The one on the left is a slower laptop hard drive. The one in the middle is a desktop hard drive, which is fast enough. And I put it that way because it really doesn't do anything one way or the other to the performance of the computer typically. On the far right, there's the very fast solid-state hard drive. Putting one of these in your computer or loading Windows on one of these will be like adding a supercharger to your car. The problem is it's very expensive today to get one of these drives, and you won't get as much space for that large expenditure. Now, the CPU is a hardware item in your computer, in every computer, and it's comparable to the hardware inside your head, your brain. Whereas the operating system, which is software in every computer, it's even on your phone, is more comparable to the personality of your computer. It's also analogous to the attitude or mind of the computer, and it dictates many things, such as what relationships the computer is going to have, in this case to various hardware and software that you might buy. And it also dictates whether the computer has good boundaries regarding malware and poorly written software. Windows is the worst of these three operating systems in that regard, and Mac OS X is the best. The other thing is the operating system dictates whether the computer is easy to use, and that's often just because the interface is familiar to you. And with Windows 8, dumb interface design ideas came along. That is also dictated by the operating system. Now, memory is a concept that a lot of users bandy about how it's going to impact their computer. It does have an impact. The main way it's going to have an impact is your computer's ability to multitask. And what that means in the world of technology is that you can have many programs open, switch between them, do things in them, and the computer will be less likely to slow down or freeze up the more memory you have. Now, these three things, the hard drive, the CPU, and the memory, they make up the horsepower of a computer system. Now, if you want to spend some money and add horsepower to your computer, the easiest thing to do is to add more memory. Just keep in mind, if you do it yourself, you want to make sure that you don't discharge the static electricity in your body towards the motherboard, because you can damage components that way. Adding a solid-state hard drive or loading Windows on a solid-state hard drive, very doable. But the problem is you may have to back up your files, reinstall Windows and your programs, and then restore your files if you do that. But you'll have a very big performance gain. I don't suggest swapping the CPU. That's more for hobbyists or enthusiasts than the average person. I've seen computers get slower, and I've seen computers get a tiny bit faster. I've also seen blown motherboards from trying to swap the CPU. So I'm sure you can tell that the Semi is more powerful than the muscle car. But the muscle car wins the race. Why is that? Because the Semi usually is loaded down with tons of weight. So, my suggestion, instead of throwing money at getting more horsepower for your computer, remove the kitty litter from your trunk, so to speak. So, how do you remove weight from your computer? Couple of main ways. Stop unwanted programs from loading at startup. An example might be Skype. If you use Skype, that program tries to load itself at startup and takes up a lot of resources. The other option is to get rid of junk on your computer. So let's go into the specifics of how to get rid of this stuff. The top one is how you stop programs from starting when the computer starts up. I don't suggest that just anybody go in and start up the system configuration tool and just start unchecking things and rebooting, because you might turn something off that the computer requires just to start. So do your research or have a professional help you with using the system configuration tool. On the bottom, there's CCleaner. Excellent program, free, very safe, never had it delete anything that somebody wants, and very easy to use. So that covers the analogies with regards to computer performance. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments or visit us at bradhelps.com. And happy computing.